Hello, welcome in. So many of you have watched my Drake Vulture video, and by the look of it, a lot of people liked it. So I'm going to the next stage now with the Reclaimer. If you've been in my live videos, I've been doing a lot of testing different ways to do the salvaging and make money in the Reclaimer. It's a stock Reclaimer, and in this video I'm going to show you how I found to make the fastest credits. So let's get to it. So what I did first is I went to Hurston because I found that these contracts was popping up more regular around Hurston. I didn't get much luck in other places, whether that's by design, whether you have to be around Hurston to get these contracts, or whether it was just coincidence. But every time I'm around Hurston, I find these contracts. So I'll go to the Salvage. If you want to do the clean ones, it's a 10,000 ones. We're looking for the Hercules Star Lifter, because that's what's going to fill the machines fastest down in the bottom. One of these will more or less fill them for us to empty and move on to the next one. If you can't do it in the regular salvage missions, then you're looking at the unverified ones, which is double the fee, but you'll get that back tenfold, but you would need it to begin with plus the ship. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to accept this, track it, and then that's when. Right, so I've started the timer. So through cutting out all these travelling times, you can still see where I am, because I don't want this video to be boring. I want it to be straight to the point. 1 2 1 2, so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Right, so we're coming into the first target now. We want to come out of travel, and we want to come to it slowly. So in another method, you can scan it and make quite a bit on the cargo, but that's very much down to luck. So the best way I've found, if you're purely in it for credits and you're saving up for something and you just want to make the fastest amount of credits as quick as possible, then you just want to go straight into your other seat, power it up, bring out your mod, the claw, and then you just want to fracture it. If you look in the middle, can you see it? You're getting 216. Our station depot holds 240. So after each of these Hercules, after we fractured it and disintegrated it, it will more or less fill up our containers for us to go and empty. I'm gonna fast forward this bit so you don't get bored watching it. See you in a minute. So as you can see from above me, it does take a minute and you get a few little bits that float off to the side. But what we can do is get your tractor beam. We can lift them back up. Just gotta make sure to steady it first. So then what we want to do now is go down to the bottom. I'll go up first. My bad. And then we want to go all the way to the back. To the elevator. Then we want to go to salvage processing. So you want to come to this panel here, the construction salvage. You want to change to 16 SCU. You want to eject and press the auto eject, and you want to do this on both sides. I'm gonna see you in 2 minutes while these do, because I don't want to bore you all video. And then every so often you want to be checking this top here. As it gets to below 16, it's not going to produce any more. So we can go back to the top and go again. Gosh. Make sure to go to the habitation deck on your way up. And then one straight back up again. There we go. So I'll travel there and I'll bring you guys back. See you in a minute. So one thing before I forget, when you go back down, if you go backwards down the ladders, you'll skip the animation and you'll jump down faster. It was just a quick point I wanted to put into the video, just as we are speed running. Right, see you in a minute. So we're coming in on the second Her, and we want to get as close as possible. As in the first one I wasn't too close, so you had little bits fly away. So we want to get as close as possible. Remember the claw is to the left. Turn on some thrusters so we don't blow away anywhere. And it should be a lot faster from the first time because I've turned everything on. I didn't turn everything on before I started the timer. It's a bit more realistic. You can see how everything's turned on if it's your first time in the Reclaimer, or you're new to the game and you've only just got enough credits to get a Reclaimer. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the video again until the end of the disintegration. Let's catch you in a minute. So as you can see, because I was closer, I didn't get a lot of pieces falling off, and they was sort of floating away, but I was able to disintegrate them before they flew too far. Because if you position yourself behind the Herc and like closer to it, they don't fly off as fast. That's something I've noticed for when you come in and you position yourself. It tends to be a lot better and faster. So it's literally just rinse and repeat of the first one. So I'm gonna skip forward now because you've seen this bit from the first one, and I'm gonna skip to 10 minutes before the timer's out so you can see the next stage and finalising the loop and where the loop actually ends in my eyes. Right, see you in a minute. Now this gives me a chance to show you the unverified ones. So the unverified ones and what to expect while doing these ones. So as we're coming into the risk of the unverified contract to get our construction material, as we get closer, we'll get a half an hour or so timer to get it done. But as we're literally only fracturing and disintegrating, we're not actually getting the cargo. It's plenty of time to be in and out before the timer. If you're still there once the timer runs out collecting things, or you forget about the timer and go down and empty your depot, there's the timer, then a patrol come out, and this is no fighting ship, so more than likely you are going to go down. So it's just something to bear in mind. Make sure you go somewhere else before emptying your depot down the bottom. Right, I'm gonna skip ahead because this is the same as before, apart from I'm gonna have to move before emptying, before doing the last one, because I think doing it this way you'd only do 4 an hour. Depending on the distance, you might get the 5th one in. If you're in a duo, you can empty the depot on the way, so you might get 1 or 2 in, but then the money's split. But this is a solo guide for the solo people. So I'll see you when closer to when the hour's up, about 5-10 minutes before. Skipping forward. So I managed to fit 4 salvage missions into the hour, and I've got 3 minutes left to get to the hangar, and that's where I'd cut the loop. that's for a number of reasons. One, you can go back out, like I explained in the Drake Vulture video, but also the Reclaimer has such big cargo space. You can fit 2-3 hours into it, maybe even more, because it's got the floor that you saw. It's also got the salvage cargo hold underneath, which is smaller than that bit up top, but you can still stack a load. And then you've also got a cargo bay, which you can fit more materials in. So you could actually stay out in space, bedlog, and do this until your max capacity, but I wouldn't recommend that because it's a lot of hauling from where you need to take your ship, because you need to offload that and then load it onto something else to take to a refinery. While unloading the Reclaimer, I found two ways of putting them through the hatch. The first one is sideways, but this way it's quite a tight fit, so you've got to be straight down the middle. The second way is to put it vertical, slightly leaning back, and then it will funnel straight down. I found this to be the easier way, so like you haven't got to think about getting it right in between. Yeah. So while recording this video, I did encounter a bug with the filler stations. I emptied all the cargo that I had, but the filler stations got stuck with 100 skewing, which is about half of one of the contracts from the C2s. So we need to bear that in mind when we see the final product, the final result. Once I cleared everything out the hatch, I then put it into the freight elevator. You can do this A, so it's easy to put onto the C2 when you're loading, and B, if you want to do multiple loops, then you've got that choice. It's safe in your elevator, you can come back and stock it up, but just be aware that you will need to do multiple trips, as on the C2 you can I'd found if you stack it using the front doors like so, you can fit 54 boxes on, which is 864 skew. So what I normally do when I'm picking a refinery is I look where it's the most expensive to sell. So if we look over here, the construction material is most expensive at Arcal 4, but the inventory is quite high there. So I'll go into the map and I'll go down the list. I think we're going to L1 for sure. And that's what you're looking for. So the refinery and the commodity train, so we can refine it and sell it for the same price as all the ones that are the same price, so why wouldn't we? So the top of the list is 2 hours. And it'll cost me 10 grand. But the yield's 6,552. Which ain't the greatest. 9,000 for 17 hours. Four hours? No. So 1 hour for 6,000. So that's like fast cash, but we want good cash. 2 days. I need to make a video tomorrow, but hold on, wasn't this one more? So it's about 18 hours later. We are ready to collect our construction material, our refined construction material. So we first have to select our storage option. You can see you can go up to 500,000, so you can keep doing the loop, bring it back, do the loop, bring it back, and then once you've put it all into your chosen refinery's freight elevator, you can do it all at once. It's totally up to you. But this is based on 1 hour of collecting, so it just times this by how many hours you want to do. So we'll collect it, and I'll skip forward to selling it. So we're here at the commodity shop, ready to sell. So we want to pick our location, sell the maximum, and we're selling it for 782k. Don't forget, I could not get some off out of the filler stations. So I think with the stuff that was in the filler stations, it could have been about 800, 850. But we'll go off 782. And I'll be back in just a moment with all the numbers. So I want to take off what we pay for the contracts. I want to take off the refining fee, and we'll figure out what is left and what exactly profit we made for that hour's collection. So we're here with the numbers. I did 3 of the normal salvage missions and I did 1 unverified. So that was totaling 50k in the salvage finding fees. Then I done around 10k. It was slightly less, but it was only like 10-20 credits. And then we sold it for 782.7k. So that brings a profit for that hour collection minus what's still in the filler station. It's around 722.7k, which I don't think that's bad for an hour. I mean, that was 4 Hercs. So if we go to the calculator and we divide that by 4, each Herc done me 180.6k credits. So like per Hercules, that's without doing the cargo. We just pull up. It took me like 5 minutes. The longest part of this is of the actual loop is emptying the filler stations. But like I said before, if you wanted to just absolutely fill the reclaimer, you could empty it at Levski in the external freight elevators and refine it there. You could also make more by finding a cheaper refinery that you'll have more of a yield. I just wanted to show sort of the lazy man's way of selling it, where I've only got to transport it once. I can sell it where I've refined it, and I mean, it works. It works. 700k for an hour's grind and probably about half hour, 45 minutes worth of hauling. Got me 700k, just over. Leave a note in the comments what you think. What would you like me to have a look into next? Do you like these type of videos? I need to know so I know I'm on the right lines. Do you like the little timer that I put above my head? Like, we've got a lot of videos coming out. Make sure you subscribe, like the video. I'll see you in the next one.